At a certain point, Supreme McGriff was locked up and you stepped up. What happened as far as the chain in leadership when he got locked up, and how did you step up?
Still, I mean, be the man that I am, the man I was taught to be. You know what I'm saying? What I was raised. You know what I'm saying? Once my philosophy is once a good follower becomes a great leader. You know what I mean? So me being a good follower, I became that great leader and taking leadership as well as my man Big Black Just. You know what I'm saying? Both of us. You know what I mean? So I took my part of the town, he took his part of the town. You know what I'm saying? And we just, last time I seen Preem in prison, I went to visit him, and he had said to me and Just, "This is a chance for y'all to make your own name." You know what I'm saying? So when he told us that, nigga, I went. You know what I'm saying? He just went, and this is what we did. We made names for ourselves correctly.
I was hearing you say that you would ride around with Preem, pretty much going everywhere with him before he eventually gave you a block.
Yeah. I was with him every day. You know what I'm saying? Every day teaching me certain things in life and morals, principles, even about women. I wasn't getting no women back then. I had no girls. You know what I'm saying? It was all new to me. You know what I'm saying? I was playing basketball. That was my woman. You know what I mean? I wanted to make the pros. I mean, I was into basketball until I fell off my basketball team in high school. Once I fell off, you know what I mean? I had nothing at the crib. Refrigerator empty. You know what I mean? I ain't got no clothes. I ain't got no sneakers. I ain't got nothing, bro. I was tapped out. You know what I mean? I never had in my mind to go take anything because I don't feel as though, if a nigga work all day and you come take it, you got an enemy for life. You don't know when that enemy gonna come. You don't know who your enemy is. Like me personally, I always knew who my enemy was. I never would do was guessing and saying who was my enemy. I know who my enemy is. You know what I'm saying? And I make it that way through my life. So I don't get across, crossfire. I won't be in the mix when you catch me this way, that way. You know what I mean? I know who you are.
How do you deal with the speculation about not getting indicted with Preem? Like, haven't you dealt with these type of accusations? And what do you say to the people who say Preem is in jail and
Yo,
Bimmy
you
is
know what's crazy, Mike? What that got to do with me being in jail? I ain't sold drugs in 35 years. All right? I ain't in 35 years. And when I did come home, I was working at Def Jam, from Corey Rooney and then Def Jam. How would I be caught up in anybody's indictment? You feel me? When I went to jail, somebody told on me. That's why I went to jail. So when people say I'm caught up in some indictment, I ain't getting caught in indictment. Like how? Like what they got to do with me? They got nothing to do with me. Nothing. If your friends you grew up with continue to rob and steal, and you Mikey T got his podcast and doing the right thing, you're wrong because you didn't caught up in their indictment. Is Mikey T wrong? Just tell me. You
no, go
wrong
ahead.
because you
I
didn't
hear
caught
what
up in
you're
their
saying.
indictment because they kept going. They kept going, and I didn't. Nah, come on, dog. All it is this. You got guys that never been out there that will hear stories from 3 and 4 parties and trying to piece them together and put it together and just talk. And they give it to the people that really don't have a clue. So what they do is they know how to sell a story and tell a story and they listen to them. Nothing I can do about it. I can't make everybody like me or everybody believe my story. You know what I mean? Know my story is to see it like you sitting here with me now. That's to know my story. You know what I'm saying? That's to know my story. I don't suit everybody. That's to know my story because I don't have to explain myself.
Has anybody ever come up to you in the streets like that on some Preem is in jail and you're not, Bimmy?
Hell no. Never in my life. Never. Why would they do that? Why would they do that? I was in my life over 35 years ago. I'm telling my life over. And the world knows it. You know what I mean? I'm not saying homies out there, but I don't know what he was doing, but it had nothing to do with me, man. That's why, with these niggas is crazy. They like, you control what another grown man do. I don't control what another grown man do. You feel me? I don't. I
I
can't.
feel you on that, man. I feel you on that 100%. You know what I mean? I feel the same way about a few cases that have gone on like
I
that.
mean, me personally, man, bro, I've been moved away. I ain't say I moved away 5 years ago, 10 years. I moved away 30 years ago. Moved away. What that got to concern me for? That don't concern me. It have
So
nothing to do with me.
so let me ask you, Bimmy, what was it that got you out of the streets and into music?
Being poor. I wanted a different way in life. You know what I mean? Went to prison. That was it. And I ain't want to go back to prison. You know what I mean? I want my son look at me like my dad is still selling drugs at that age. 40 years old, he's still selling drugs. I ain't living like that, bro. My father left me when I was a child, doing the same thing. Pops left, got killed, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be that. I'm not going to be that. I learn from humans. I watch all niggas' mistakes, and I proud one is that I won't make that same mistake. So when I hear these guys talk, I just look at him and I'm like, he's making a mistake. He's making a mistake. I never want to be these people, man. Ever.
How did you end up creating a relationship and, joining Sony?
Well, a partner of mine is Corey Rooney. He's from my projects. He's from Baisley. He lives in Cena Manor. And when he was younger, we bought him equipment. You know what I mean? And he wound up producing for Mariah Carey, doing the whole albums, most of the albums. Then Jennifer Lopez, you know what I mean? He saw this fucking Puffy, everybody, you know what I'm saying? And when I came home, I told him I needed a job. And he said to me, I'm gonna show you how to produce. And he taught me how to produce. And I've been learning how to produce ever since. And my first record was with Cool G Rap. It's a Shame, the remix. I did that. Me and Corey. I bought my first legit car, the Lexus GS. You know what I mean? So Corey's a senior vice president of Sony at the time with Tommy Mottola. That was Tommy Mottola's right hand man. Tommy was the chairman at the time, Mariah's ex-husband. You know what I mean? So I end up being in that building with Corey. That's how I end up at Sony.
That's crazy, man. And you actually turned that
But
the deal with
yeah,
Sony
yeah,
to a deal with Def Jam.
yeah, definitely. Russell came in and offered me a job. You know what I mean? So here the work I'm doing. But this I'm saying to the world is, y'all worried about some street shit, want me to do that, but here it is, I'm in these big ass $1 billion buildings. You know what I mean? Switching my whole life over to change it, to change the whole narrative. You know what I'm saying? We can get into other stuff, but just change the whole narrative of what I'm doing in life. Like, none of us should belong in prison. I don't believe none of us is supposed to be in prison. You know what I mean? That shit ain't fit for a dog. You know what I mean? But when you get your mind programmed to know them type of things, then you won't go there. But if you're into the nonsense and the bullshit and it's in your atmosphere, it's gonna come.
Zipwood the Dripping Star promised police reports, but they never put it out. Do you feel like they tried to use it as self-promotion for themselves?
I mean, it gotta be, because there ain't no police report about me ever. You know what I'm saying? And my record ain't sealed. I don't have none of that on my record. You can look me up. I'm not sealed. You know what I mean? Any charge I ever had was, first of all my charges was fighting in school or some dumb shit, stolen car. You know what I mean? Then when the person told on me, and I caught my first A1 felony, I did 3 to life for it. I copped out to 3 to life, and I went and did my bid. And after that, I did my bid, I didn't do nothing else. So I started, fucking with Corey. I ain't do nothing else. So these dudes, my run wasn't even long like that. It was just the work I was putting in the streets that was crazy within them years. But I didn't have no long run in the streets like that. I stopped.
10 Toes Down told me you were setting up a studio and were trying to sign podcasters at one point. That's a dope idea. I was wondering, was that true? And if so, who were some of the people you were interested in signing?
I mean, you can say all them niggas. It wasn't about, I had a building and I talked to certain guys. I said, yo, this is how you want your room built out. What you want, a safari room? You want a waterfall room? However you want your room to look. I'm making room look like that, but I'm putting a table. I won't get the idea away. I'm doing something else, but not with them guys. But I'm doing something else with them guys, and a lot of guys felt, this era is like, you got these artists that probably made one record, and they feel as though they got artists. Yo, that's my artist, nigga. You're not even an artist yet, so they feel they can do it on their own. I mean, everybody learn from somebody. Everybody come from somewhere.
Can you tell me when you first met 50 Cent and did you immediately see his raw potential?
Yeah, yeah. I met 50. I think we was in the projects because my man Just was taking care of him. Bought the first boxing gloves, all that type of stuff. He's boxing. I mean, he's
Right.
boxing. He was about his thing, and he was sticking shit up. I was like, Just, yo, why you fucking with him, man? That nigga sticking shit up, man. I knew what he was. You know what I'm saying? And then, then later on, I saw him get into his career, rapping and stuff. And then, one day we was in the studio with Mariah's Carey group, Aloha, and her other group, the Negro Leagues. And for some reason they was beefing. 50 told nigga, I'll punch in your face. Dude was like, oh, you ain't gonna do nothing. So he rolling his weed. 50 just caught him. Pow. And then they started just riding to the studio. And I said, yo, when I moved over there, I said, yo, break this up. Yo, break it up. And he said, yo, y'all niggas trying to jump me? He said, jump you? I said, nigga, I'm saving you. This nigga's killing you. You know what I'm saying? I said, I'm saving you.
Man, what did you make of his antics, Bimmy, to get into fights with people like Fredro Starr and Ja Rule? No artist from New York had ever done that before, to my knowledge.
He made his way. And how he gonna make his way? Let's look at your boy when he talk about me. Niggas making their way. However you make your way, make your way. Whatever works for you, works for you. Whatever outcome of it comes, it comes. You know what I'm saying? If it's consequences, whatever it comes, it comes. But you make your way. You know what I'm saying? He made his way. Look at him now. Big
That,
mogul.
that's
You know what I mean? Big mogul. And he's from Queens. You know what I mean? Can't take it away from him.
in my interview with 50 Cent's cousin Continental 5, he said Supreme liked the song Ghetto Quran. Is that true?
I couldn't tell you. I don't know, but I liked it. He shouted me out in it.
Yeah,
He's
he
my brother.
actually mentioned you.
Yeah. I know niggas that get money like Bimmy and Joe. You know what I'm saying? He shouted us out. So I ain't seen nothing wrong with the song.
Right.
You got these niggas, they on songs. These niggas on songs that they talking about how many niggas they killed. They tell you action, they tell you word for word what's going on. And that song wasn't like that. He was giving props to the neighborhoods. That's all.
Yeah, the $1 million question, Bimmy. At that point in your life, because everyone says this is 50 Cent's snitching record. At that point in your life, would Ghetto Quran have affected you in any type of snitching way?
Why would it affect me when he's shouting the neighborhoods out, giving props to everybody? I just said it. He said, I know niggas is getting money like Bimmy and Joe. You feel me? He shouting people out. He's shouting niggas out doing their thing. If you wasn't doing your thing, you thought that he wasn't thinking about it, you wasn't shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that's snitching. Come on, dog.
All right, so I got these things that I just want to ask you about. It's you got to pick one, but I mean, you could do whatever you want. You know what I mean? You're Bimmy, but I
Okay.
want to ask you, got to pick one. Tupac or Biggie?
Both.
Any explanation? You could throw in an explanation if you want as well.
Because I want to party and bullshit, I go to Big. If I want to get serious, I want to get some real topics, I go to Pop.
All right, Nas or Jay
I
Z?
mean, I go to Queens, homie.
Death Row or Bad Boy?
Death Row.
Queensbridge or Left Rack?
Queensbridge.
Brooklyn or the Bronx?
Brooklyn.
Harlem or Far Rockaway?
Far Rock.
Lloyd Banks or Cassidy?
Lloyd Banks.
El Chapo or Pablo?
El Chapo.
G Unit or Murder Inc?
G Unit.
Ja Rule or DMX?
DMX.
Rest in peace, DMX.